Okay, I think, all right. Thank you very much for inviting me and for that generous introduction. I must still, when I initially agreed to for the program, I was on an off day. It was supposed to be my off day, but as you'll know, that the COVID situation in UK, particularly in London, became very critical. We see more than 1,500 deaths within 24 hours, and the hospitals are bursting, and to the brim of non-functioning situation, where because the situation is overwhelming. So in that background, I being an intensive care specialist, I was called in again on my off day to come and work. So that's why now I'm at work. So I took about 20 minutes time off to attend to this program. So and then hopefully I'll go back to my work. So with that, the current situation, as you all know, that the COVID situation is pretty bad now, and I hope with the vaccination program and the social distancing and lockdown and stuff, maybe we will have some um, a light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, so having said that, first of all, let me thank you all for inviting me to have a small discussion with you all. And uh, you know, this forum as a professional students and university students, this forum is something that I love to talk to, because you all are professionals and you all are the leaders of the day. So sorry, excuse me. My I think I only realized that my charger, my laptop is the charger is running out. So let me turn off the laptop and yeah. I think probably I missed that in the word. Sorry. Anyway, so I'll continue. Uh, um, this in this very short period, what I want to see as the challenges that we are facing. That's what we wanted to discuss. And what I see is one of the most serious challenge that we face, is particularly in Sri Lanka and all over the world, is the intolerance and racism. And the people are not very accommodative. Although we are educated, the education has not done it has not delivered so what it is supposed to deliver. So I feel that the people don't understand each other, they don't love each other, they don't find common ground when it comes to their growth and development, right? So in that sense, although education is supposed to increase our self respect and value, and in that value, we accommodate others, although it's not necessarily we know to accept everyone. We don't have to accept everyone's ideas and their philosophies. But although we as intellectuals, we have our own understanding, and we need to have that diversity. It is the beauty. The diversity is beauty, actually. But the problem is that diversity is not, we cannot expect everybody to conform to our own ideas and thoughts. So this diversity should be celebrated. So now, how we can celebrate this diversity, right? But the education that we take, we from these universities, it should teach us to celebrate the diversity. You see now, that it has to teach us, it would expand our hearts and minds to accommodate people. When I say that we accept them, it doesn't mean that we accept all theories and philosophies. No, as academics, as the university, students and the lecturers, and as academics who are involved in university system, we always argue and debate different ideas and philosophies, right? So we should do that. But at the same time, while we argue different ideas and philosophies, we should we should accept we should accept and accommodate the people who debate these philosophies and ideas. So we may disagree with the ideas and philosophies, but we agree in a point that these are human beings. We all are human beings. We all are here on this beautiful planet for us to survive and have a beautiful life on this earth. So this idea is extremely important, and this is the challenge that we have, the professionals we have, particularly in Sri Lanka and of course in all over the place, all over the world, even in the USA. You know that these rise of far-right movements and Islamophobia or anti-Semitism. Also, all these things are really, really worrying. And what I feel is that this is the challenge that the professionals that we are facing. So we need to face this challenge. We need to get a clear idea about how we can face this. So our education should, I think, allow us, while debating all these ideas and philosophies, but when it comes to the person, okay, we may sometimes hate an idea, right? But we don't hate the person. So we need to always make sure that there's a separate, completely, these are two separate things, right? See, now the person is different from the idea he is holding. The idea may disagree, but as a person, we agree. He's our brother, he's our sister, he's our countryman. These are our citizens, right? So that idea is very important. So in this background, let me quote. I find one Quranic ayah that gives us an idea how we should look at this, right? Now we know we are in a country in Sri Lanka. We fought 3 decades of war, 30 years of active war, and before that there was problem. Even after that, the problem continuing, based on one thing. What? It's the language, right? So these LTT fought for the language. It was mainly for the language, for the Tamil language. They wanted the recognition. The Sinhalese language, they didn't like the Sinhalese language. That the Sinhalese didn't like the Tamil language. So this is a sort of a problem. But sometimes this is the language clash is there. In some places the color clash is there. So in this background, how Islam, the Quran, is the Islamic philosophy is there in this aspect. So it's so beautiful if you understand this concept. What is the Islamic philosophy about this language clash and the color clash? So what is the philosophy of Islam? Let me bring one Quranic ayah in Surah Rum. It gives a clarity about this. It gives the philosophy behind this confusion. There's no confusion. It gives a very clarity, but we are confused, right? So what does it say? It says this, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا the next ayah. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ خَلْقُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاخْتِلَافِ أَلْسِنَتِكُمْ وَأَلْوَانِكُمْ إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِلْعَالَمِينَ. What a beautiful philosophy. So what Allah says in this ayah is, this is a miraculous sign. Allah says that this is a miraculous sign. The signs are there for you to explore and experience and get a miracle and a message and a miracle in that. Now, when the Quran talks about the signs, ayah, that is something to explore and study about, because there will be some miraculous things behind that. That is the time the Quran uses the word ayah. So here Allah says that there is a miraculous sign in the design and the creation of the universe, the planets, the galaxies, right? The huge planets and the galaxies, the billions of galaxies and planets, how the universe work. There's a miraculous design and the creation of the science, God says, right? And then he says on the earth, even the earth, it's in relation to the universe. the how the earth is designed for a human being to live. See, we need 21% oxygen. The earth has got 21% oxygen. So that sort of things. So there's a miraculous sign in that. So in that, then he says the waqtila alsinatikum. When do you have a different language? That's again a miraculous sign. The different color is again a miraculous sign. So these signs are miraculous signs are there. You know why? Not for you to fight, not for you to start a war. It is there for you to understand and to be surprised about that, to appreciate the beauty of these things, the different language and different color, appreciate the beauty of it, and then you become God conscious. So if you see people speaking a different language, in Islamic concept, in Quranic concept, when you see people, say you're getting into the bus, some people speak Tamil, some people English, some people speak Sinhala. So when you see these different languages are spoken, you see a lot in London. When you get into a London Underground tube, you see the hundreds of languages are spoken here. But what you see is you don't get racism out of that. You don't get angry about the other language. What Allah says is, if you study these language, every language is a miraculous thing, right? It's a sign there, right? There's an ayah in that. So if in that ayah, if you study deep how these languages are working and we are producing, then you become, you become very. When you see the science behind that, and the importance of if you understand the language and the depth of it, then you will find these languages, the beauty of it, you will find it in every language. So when you see that beauty, then it says, because all languages belong to Allah. He is the one who taught all these languages. He's the creator who taught us all this language. That's the concept. So when the creator taught us all this language, so when you understand these languages, and that doesn't give you racism, but it gives you God consciousness. I'll give you a very simple example. Now, see how this language comes. So the language, as long as it comes up to the throat, it's just an airflow. From lungs, the airflow comes to the throat, where there's the voice boxes. Whether you speak English, Sinhala, Tamil, or whatever the language, it's all airflow right up until here. So at this point, the vocal cord vibrates and it produces the sound wave. The sound wave, until it comes to the mouth, it is a sound wave. In the mouth, you have the lip and the tongue to produce words. Mouth is a word factory, so it produces the words. And with using your temporal lobe here from the language brain, it connects and you produce the language. For whatever the language you speak, up until it comes to the mouth is the same process. But in the mouth, the sound wave, it makes a different language. If you understand and study the science behind that, that's an amazing design, right? This is what Allah says is an ayah. So this ayah, when you see a different languages coming from the mouth of a person, that doesn't make you a racist, but that makes you somebody who appreciate this design and somebody who become God conscious. This is exactly the same thing happens with the skin color. The Quran, the ayah continues to say, وَاخْتِلَافُ أَلْسِنَتِكُمْ وَأَلْوَانِكُمْ. Even in your skin color, it's again another miracle. The same number of melanocytes we have in the skin, brown or black or white or whatever the color, it is the same thing. But then only the melanocyte, the cells in white, it produces less melanocytes. In black, it produces more melanocytes. That's it. Again, if you study that, how these colors are formed in the skin, that's another miracle. So what Allah is trying to say is, these different colors, different languages are a miraculous design and creation. So you appreciate that and love that and appreciate the difference. So by appreciating it, you become, appreciating the design of it, you become, actually you become, the awe of the designer, right? And then you become God conscious. So what we have to do is, we need to give this concept. So different languages, different colors, the different languages are there not to fight, not to start a war. It is there for us to become to see the beauty in that, and for us to become God conscious. See, that is the concept of Islam with regards to the different languages and colors. I think this is the challenge. So we need to pass this message to, particularly to a society that is multicultural, multi-religious, multilingual. So in a multi-religious, multicultural, multi-religious society, this appreciating these diversity is the maturity, and that is, we need to find the beauty in that. That is exactly what we should promote as professionals. I think my time is up, and thank you very much for listening to me. And thank you once again. Thank you for giving me this audience. Thank you.